that's a unity. U-N-I-T-Y, love a black man. We gotta let 'em know that's unity. We go, U-N-I-T-Y. Well, happy new year and happy new you, everyone. Welcome to You're Our Unity. We are a show that's aiming to create a spirit of peace and love in the world, one person at a time. And we're looking for peace builders and peacemakers like you who are committed and dedicated to being the change that this world so desperately needs. My name is LaShawn Walker, and I am your host. I want to welcome you this week to another episode. And as you see, I have some new digs right now. I am recording from on location this week. So yes, please enjoy my new scenery. I'd like to welcome you again. I hope everyone had an amazing new year. I hope you brought in 2021 exactly how you wanted it, considering what we just came out of in 2020. I hope that you also entered this year with hope and with just peace and love and purpose on your mind. I had a wonderful New Year's, I must admit. I spent it quietly with my family. It was truly, truly great. I felt a perfect time for us to love on each other and sort of go into the new year with like a different attitude and a different mood than what we just came out of 2020 with. So I hope the same for you guys. If you haven't already, please like, share, and follow. Share with everyone that we are on right now. I was on last week with my daughter and my unofficial goddaughter, Diamond Cabrera and Jadeja Ellis. It was a wonderful show. I actually just finished watching it on channel 115, Cablevision, Spectrum, and I believe Altice channel 115, and it was a really good episode. Yeah, it was just really, really good to spend time with the family and go into 2021 with a new mindset. So today we have a special show. As I mentioned, I'm in my new studio. I wanted to introduce you to someone that we're going to have a wonderful conversation with today. I have a special guest, and we want to just talk about the new year and the new you in this new year. We've all experienced a lot, and happy new you, mind, body, and spirit. We've all experienced a lot this past 10 months. And I kind of wanted to speak to how we can love on ourselves a little better and a little more self-care for ourselves going into 2021. The lessons that we learned in 2020, I hope that we can build on them in 2021 and grow from them. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my co-host for the evening. Her name is Reverend Kimberly Clemens Jones, affectionately known as Reverend Casey Jones. She's an ordained minister, currently serving as senior pastor and spiritual leader at a New York congregation. Known for preaching the word, what's really close to her heart is women's ministry, where she provides workshops and seminars related to emotional and spiritual health. Reverend Casey Jones practices counseling in other cultures to gain perspective into her own restoration and healing arts coaching practice, which is Restored Life LLC. She is the founder of the nonprofit organization Community Healing and Caring Center Incorporated, focusing on family cohesion, community building, and mentoring young men 12 to 18 years old. She is also the author of Cured But Not Healed: How to Experience Deeper Faith on Your Journey with God, and international co-author of 5 other books. A truly impressive and humble, loving wife and mother to a very blessed full house, and a child of God with a huge heart and unwavering spiritual compass. Please help me welcome our very special guest this evening, Miss Lauren Kimberly Clemens Jones. And I hope you are up. We're having, hi.
I think I am.
It is so
Hello,
nice.
how are you?
Yes, great. It is. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for coming. I need you to make just a little quick prayer that the technical God will take care of us this evening, considering that
I,
I'm
I'm
recording on
praying.
location.
I am praying. I am praying, and
So
thank
I'm
you so much for the invitation, and especially on your new set and everything. It's a brand new year.
Yes, yes, it is. And I really appreciate you being here. I don't know how permanent this set is, but for today, it is going to do. And I'm so grateful that you were able to come on even virtually this evening. I really appreciate it. So as I was talking earlier, this year is about a happy new you. So I mentioned a few things about you, but how about you tell us a little bit about yourself and how your 2020 went?
Ooh, oh, 2020 was just as hard for me as it was for everyone else. We've experienced some
Yeah.
deaths in our family. Of course, being a pastor, you're always busy in other people's lives as well. So it was difficult. And then my son had a seizure and had brain surgery. So
Wow.
2020, I am ready to go to the next level in 2021.
Yes, yes, I'm sure. And how did you spend 20 bringing in 2021, this new revolution that we're about to embark on? How did
You know
you
what?
bring that
Very,
in?
very quietly, very quietly. Last
Nice,
year we were all
nice.
gung ho about 2020. We knew 2020 was going to be a shift, and indeed it was, but it wasn't the
Yes,
kind of shift that we
right,
thought it was going to be. And so I just felt like I needed to, I mean, it's COVID anyway. I wouldn't have been gathering
right,
in a big crowd anywhere, but it
right.
was just my family and I. We were, quiet. We watched some movies together. It's all about family time. And we
Yeah.
brought it in. We watched a few things on television. And we watched Mulan. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Wow.
It was
You
wonderful.
did. Oh, that is amazing. That's
Yeah.
honestly what I kind of did too. I mean,
Mhm.
2020, I think for certain people, you either grew or you stayed stagnant, you know?
That's right.
And
That's right.
I really did find time to do different things, even though I know that I was kind of stuck in this new world and this new environment. And the same thing that you said, you shows and caught up on things, and I totally understand that, and I did the same thing. And I think a lot of people during 2020, the pandemic, who had relatively active lives,
Oh, yeah.
probably took up a few new hobbies and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in regard to our body in regard to our body, mind, and spirit during the pandemic, because as you said, you had a few deaths in your family, which I'm sure a lot of people went through as well, and the unfortunate incident with your son, which I am so grateful and so happy that he is doing better and that you guys
Yes.
got through it. To God
Yes.
be the glory. That's all I could say about that. And
Absolutely.
I champion the resolve in your family and how you guys came together. I was watching the podcast last night and I was just,
Ah,
oh my God, I want to move in with you guys.
and listen, there's 9 of us. You would make 10. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's the
we
best.
we that podcast really helped us further in our healing. And thank God we're a family that we talk all the time. Like our boys aren't afraid to express their opinions and talk. And so it really has, because of COVID, it really has given us a new life in our family life. Um, Things will never be the same. Um, it's just been amazing. The opportunities that we've all had in 2020 going into 2021. Now we know how to use those things.
Right, right. I know.
Yeah.
I think that is really key, and in you moving on, and for you strengthening your soul. Because when you go through tragedies like that, you lose a bit of yourself. You really do, and the
Absolutely.
recovery from it sometimes is really hard, and sometimes it could be really slow. And for the
Yes.
fact that the person is still here, you're still grappling with the emotion versus what it actually ended up being. So regardless of the fact they're still here, you're still emotionally can still deal with the
Oh,
tragedy and what happened.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I feel so I feel like a lot of people, going through, what 2020 brought us, are still dealing with a lot of pain
Mhm.
and a lot of despair. And seeing how, you got through it so beautifully, I might add.
Mm.
What
Listen, if we're honest,
I feel you did. You really
healing
did.
is not a beautiful thing, right? You have the cut, you have the covering, and sometimes it peels back. So healing really isn't that beautiful, but in the end, if you have the spiritual healing with it, it really
Mhm.
is a beautiful thing.
Yes. Yes, that's what I mean. The recovery, the after effect, everything you've endured. It's almost like, the coal or the dirt. You're literally just buried in it. And then the next thing you know, 6 months later, you have a beautiful flower, a beautiful rose or an
Yeah.
orchid that just comes springing out of the ground. So yeah, I think that's what I really meant. It's just the beauty of I
Oh,
see the
absolutely.
happiness and the joy, Yep, that's
Yes,
amazing.
yeah.
So in terms of getting through that, what steps did you take to kind of get through that for others that are probably going through that right? Stuck in 2020 in a way. We're
Yeah.
only 5 days in,
Yeah,
so we're
I
still
know.
holding on to a lot of baggage.
We are. And 2020, I always say that I've been saying since like May, that it's like we were in the womb again. Like God placed us back in the womb so that we could recultivate our lives and start
Yeah.
over, and insulate ourselves, right?
Yes,
With
yes,
our families, everybody's out there, but we had to come to grips with what's going on in our family, is everybody happy, so forth and so on. And I feel like 2021, rather 2020, has allowed us to become so insular in
right.
some way, in our own personal journey, in our soul
Mm-hmm.
journey. And now
Yes.
2021, now that we've learned these 2020 lessons, we can start peeping our heads out, right? I mean, things are still, we're still in COVID, we're still in quarantine. In fact, today I went to the bank for the first time in a long time, and I just expected to go into the bank and do my business. And I was shocked when there was someone at the door and they wouldn't let me in, and then they had all
Wow.
these new rules, and I was like, oh yeah, it is COVID. So now, we started off saying, oh, I can't wait to leave the house, what is going
Right.
on?
Right.
And then we're getting used to, but it's our soul's journey. Inside
Yes.
is our soul's journey.
Yes.
So we're growing now in 2021.
Yes.
It's time to start budding, right? Becoming the butterfly. Um, and
Yes.
so I'm excited.
Yes.
So as far as your question goes, how did we get through it? Family is everything, and I know this is a hard
Oh, yes.
subject for people who live alone, because it's so totally different. But in my experience, what we needed was to just gather as family. Um, Things are no longer the same, and so we've been treating things like that, like there's everything is brand new.
Yes.
So even with church, for instance, and I know you guys from, Valley Stream Presbyterian Church, where we sponsor the food bank with you all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, our church services are now on Saturdays. And
Right.
what that has done for my life and my family's life, because we're used to worshiping on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
now we have Sunday as a family day.
Hey, I love
It
it.
is amazing. And so that family day, that one change that we
Mm-hmm.
had because of COVID, helped us get through
Yes.
the tough times.
Yes.
And
Yes.
one day can do it. And we're all on our own,
Yes.
little journeys, but as together in that support system, we were able to just flourish and come up with new ideas and be creative. And the podcast came out of Jason's, seizure and brain surgery.
Yes, yes,
We have to
yes.
be creative. We have to create.
The name, yes, yes, you're absolutely right. And for you guys out there listening, the name of the podcast is A Tulip in an Onion Patch. Is that the name? Did I get it right?
You got it right.
Yes, and it is.
You got it right.
Thank you. No, it is fascinating. It is really, really fascinating, and I love your sons. They're so intelligent. They're so thoughtful in their words, and I really was able to connect with the whole topic, the whole subject, even without going through it. I connected to it, and I think it was because of the love that you saw that you guys have, and like I said, it's a lot of people out there, unfortunately, that don't have that connection. And that's kind of what I speak to today as well, like the self-care of even knowing that in tragedies and unhappiness and depression that you're going through this alone, and knowing that we went through a pandemic, a lot of people were shut in, by themselves and weren't able to even connect with family. So I really wanted to speak to them and their mental state and how they could kind of make 2021
well,
like
my mother,
like a beautiful dream.
Yeah, like a beautiful nightmare, right? 2020. So my mom lives I'm sorry, there's a delayed reaction. That's why I'm laughing now, and right. But my mom is, a single person, and she lives in Connecticut, and we aren't able to see her as much as we would like to. And even, and she's a senior, although you wouldn't know it. And so really being patient, again, family, right? Really being patient. We know how impatient we can get with our parents when it comes to Zoom and AOL and Google. And they have the commercials out that really are just so funny about that generation and our generation. And so my mom is Zooming, right? We set her up. So now she only has to touch a button. The same thing with my dad, only touch a button, so forth and so on. And then also when it was really tough for her, there's a technique called emotional freedom techniques, and it's tapping. And I help my mom and other people tap through those issues of loneliness. And you talked about emotional baggage that we carry. It also gets lodged in our bodies as well. And so tapping on certain meridian points will allow you to remove some of that emotional baggage so you can continue to live. So as a coach, I always say I have a toolkit. I got all kinds of tools in my tool belt.
I love
it. And I use them all. And you have to use them all, LaShawn. Because living life is not easy. And so you always have to say, you know what? I'm feeling disconnected. How can I ground myself? How can how can I be here on this earth? Or I'm feeling disconnected to the Spirit of God. How can I become closer to God? Those are two questions that I feel like everyone should be asking themselves at all times.
I actually was going to discuss that onto spirituality, how people are disconnecting, unfortunately, from their core and from their spirituality because of everything that's going on. So yeah, I want to dig a little deeper into that, but I totally agree. My mom, I'm so glad that your parents are at least attempting. I had a little argument with my mother
Yeah.
yesterday because I was like, she has all of the equipment. She has what she needs, and she chooses not to want to use it and choose not to want to at least try to connect with us in a different way. Because I noticed that, lately, she's been calling a lot, and it's for little things. Like the woman calls me to say, well, I just saw on the news that, it's going to be raining tomorrow in your area.
Right.
And I'm like,
that's right.
What's going on in Virginia? How about you tell me that? So at that point, when I noticed that, and it's so funny that you mentioned it, because when I noticed that, I called her. We were in the car yesterday, my whole family, and my daughter was speaking, and she said, that's grandma on the phone. And I said to the people in the car, I was like, I noticed that my mother is calling a lot more lately. So when my daughter and everyone was out the car, I called my mom and I was like, look, I'm checking. I was like, I get your calls every day. We have, 2 or 3 minute conversation about 20 times a day, but there's no substance in it. I want to know what's on your mind. What is going on? How are you feeling? Like, I need you to connect with me a little deeper than what you were in our daily conversations, because those just become habits. To me, they're no longer like really, authentic conversations. There's like, I'm supposed to call you every morning at this time to make sure you're okay, So once I did that, Kimberly, this woman literally just started yep. And I'm feeling this way because, I did lose because we went down in October for her birthday, and unfortunately, the day me and my daughter were leaving, her dog, we had to put her dog to sleep. So I think she's still dealing with that, and she did not know how to express that. But for me, just asking that one question, calling her back and saying, I need you to tell me more. There's something going on. What is it? And she's alone. She's down south. Same thing like you said, very vibrant woman. Absolutely. You wouldn't know she's 70 years old. But again, they do need to have that connection, that family, that love. Yes. And that I'm very proud. I'm very happy, honestly, that, I was able to take that extra step and listen to her. But your parents,
you're empathetic. You're being empathetic. And that is what COVID has taught us, right? To slow down. Not everything is so important that you thought it was important. It's no longer important.
Yeah.
And relationships with your mom and your dad and your siblings, everything that's the most important thing. And so we now, right, before you might not have heard her loneliness. It could have been like, oh, let me get out of here because I have something to do. But now your ear is like fresh and tuned to, well, she's calling a lot. Maybe she needs something that she doesn't know how to talk about. So that's exactly where we are, LaShawn.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I'm hoping anybody that's watching, anybody that's listening, please comment. Again, you could to Reverend Casey Jones. She could definitely mentor you and definitely mentor you and coach you on how, you can give yourself a little self-love and a little grace this year, from everything that we've had to endure.
Lots of grace.
I don't think,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. No, I want you to explain to people what that actually means, giving yourself grace. What does that mean?
Yeah. Well, in the spiritual biblical sense, grace is something that God gives us even though we're unworthy of it. So grace is a gift, right? And you can't work for it. And you can't be a good person for it. It just is what it is. And I'm in school for my doctorate degree, and because of the 2 deaths in my family, and I had to do the funerals for them, and and so I was behind on the paper, and I literally, I'm a a teacher student. I love work. I love writing. I just love academic work.
Nice.
And I've never had to ask for an extension.
Wow.
And I literally got myself into a tizzy because I had to ask the professor for an
An
extension.
extension.
And and for me, and I was also, a dean at a seminary, so I gave extensions. I never had to ask for it. So here we go, COVID. Here we go, right? And I asked for one, and he was so gracious. And just last week I had to do something else regarding academics and ask for grace. And I realized, just like I extend grace, I need grace extended to me.
Yes.
And so my lesson could be different than someone else's. My lesson is, hold up, wait a minute, you don't have it all together. You need grace too.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask for it. And so, great.
Yes.
So grace is, thank you.
Yes. It is so good. And I say the same thing. And I ask for it daily because I know I fall short of everything. So I need to, and if I have to go to an actual person and not necessarily ask it, but you can tell by just my whole demeanor, my positioning, my stance, my attitude, and my that I'm just looking for you to just give me a little bit of what I know that I would give you, and that's it. So that's what I'm hoping. I hope you guys can't hear my dog. But I'm just hoping that everyone understands. I just hope that everyone understands what that means and they actually try to take advantage of it because, we do usually look to God for grace. And sometimes we have to realize that here on earth, we need as well from the people around us and from people that we come in contact with. And so that is a blessing. So, so speaking of, having grace, how did the COVID, I don't know. How did it do? What did it do for you, for your body? How did you manage to have the same type of energy and the same type of, routine in terms of taking care of yourself physically? Did the COVID hinder that in any way?
Oh yeah, the COVID hindered everything, LaShawn, everything. How we used to say, I woke up like this. No, I did not. Right. So, as far as self-care goes, it did allow me more time and is still allowing me more time since we do most of our work for the church online. And it's funny because a year before COVID, I had started doing a lot of my coaching work on through Zoom. And so I was familiar with it. So that was a fairly easy transition. And then it got hard, with what are we going to do next? So as far as self-care, it's taken on a different feel. It's no longer, okay, I have to make myself go to the gym or make myself do yoga or something like that. It is literally an everyday, every hour thought process to do self-care because in a pandemic everything that could happen in a regular year just gets worse when you're in the midst of a pandemic, right? So everything is just amplified 1,000 times, and so that means that we all have to take care of ourselves and think, okay, how am I feeling right now? Right. Okay, and this feeling is not good. So how can I we've taught ourselves literally through 2020 how to be present. And that means be present with the good stuff and be present with the bad stuff. And it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
And breathe through it.
And breathe through it. Yes. I've actually created for my social media, Your Unity, I've created what I call a 12-month to Unity calendar.
Nice.
And what I want to do is every 3 months, I want you to work on something different about you. And the first 3 months is working on you, your self-care, your self-esteem, your self-awareness, just discovering and reawakening who you are, what you are, and why you are. And this first week is to breathe. Exactly what you said. It's this week in the beginning of the year is for you to just take deep breaths and inhale every amazing, beautiful, God blessed thing that we have, because we didn't have to have it. We could have left 2020 and we could have been left right behind with it, you know? So,
and there still are some people who are left behind, and we're all trying, you know, those who can do, right? So we teach other people, you know, come on alongside, you know, let me come alongside you and let me help you through these treacherous times that we're living in. Because there's light at the end of the tunnel. There really is.
No, I totally agree. And I think that if you get your mind and body in the right spot in terms of just connecting with it completely. I mean, our body, you know, although we use it to get around, it still needs to be healthy. What we put in it, we're going to get out of it. And I really feel that, you know, us taking care of it daily and, you know, working out as much as we can and putting in, you know, all those good nutrients and vitamins and things like that, you know, regardless of what's going on elsewhere, at least we could say that we're feeling good as we're just walking around from place to place. So I got out of my routine. I must admit, COVID didn't do me very kindly the last 10 months. I've been up and down and up and down. I get in a routine, I get happy about it, and then something just knocks me totally off my schedule, and then I'm right back to it. And I don't feel like I'm gaining weight because of eating. I'm gaining weight because of inactivity. So 2021, I've made sure that I'm going to make a schedule. I'm going to be purposeful, which I told you the other day is my word for 2021, purposeful in everything that I do. And that includes, you know, working out in my body. What I do want to include, I don't know if you know anything about it or if, you know, you do it yourself, but how is like yoga or meditation? I was thinking about taking that up. Do you at all dabble in yoga or any type of meditation? I mean, I do meditation.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I go to, well, online now. I go to a yoga studio that has classes online. And so any day of the week at almost any time, 3 times a day, they will have a class. So I, you know, it's not my forte. I go because I need to breathe and relax and stretch. As far as meditation, through Restored Life, I do, very like 15-minute exercises or less. It can take you, it's called releasing and receiving, that literally changes the atmosphere around you. In minutes, it changes the atmosphere. So so we'll do that one day together, and you'll see like the atmosphere changes only because you're changing inside. So anything more than that, I don't do meditation. It's mostly coaching and EFT tapping. Yeah.
Okay. Are you active? Are you like an athlete? Do you like to play ball? Do you work out? Anything like that?
Man, you know what? It's funny because in high school and part of college, I ran track. I was a cheerleader, and I did softball like year round in high school. And then after college, it was like, yeah, I don't do any of that. But I love team sports, so I've actually been online. Of course, during COVID, hardly anything is meeting, but I've been actually going online to see, because certain places out here on the island, they have kickball and things like that. So there's a place called Sport Time that I literally just bought a membership to for me and my family. So we can go for 3 months together, and there's nothing like those type of gyms for me. Like a workout gym is like boring. But somewhere where you can swim and kick the ball around like a YMCA place is
like an amusement park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
And I dance to African videos at home and things like that, just to keep moving.
Right. Well, I think I need to take that up. My daughter has been doing a lot of like online exercise,
Mhm.
fitness classes and things like that. It's just, I don't know why I cannot find the time. And
You
I'm
can.
thinking, I know,
You
I
can.
know, I
You
know.
can.
You're absolutely right. You caught me, lady.
You can. We have time.
Yes.
There's a book called the four day work week or something like that. You got to check that
Hmm.
book out because and I realized after I did an inventory on my day, I spend so much time um, on the computer or in my
Yes.
head. I have so much time. You have so much time, LaShawn.
I
You
don't
really do.
know. Let me tell you something. I read your bio and I had to cut it down, my friend. So, okay, I don't know how much time you actually have
Okay.
because from what I read, no, you are everywhere and doing everything. You are
Touche,
truly,
touche.
thank you, truly impressive. And I'm trying to get to that level, which is why I say I have no time because I'm always on the computer now. I'm always, researching something. I'm always just trying to come up with, not trying, building and rounding
Mhm.
out our unity for
Yeah.
the masses. So no, I'm
Mhm.
very shocked that you say that, but I know you X'd
No,
out
but
time.
I'm telling you,
You have
exit
to.
out, exit out, color it out. I have my calendar with all the colors, and
Okay.
pink is the me time. And when I see it shrinking, with other stuff, I put some more me
Right.
time in there. Remember, also, you're supposed to get up every 20 minutes from the computer and just take a walk around. That alone will make you feel better and get your steps in.
Right. Right. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Well, oh my God, my Fitbit broke because that's the thing that kept me moving. Even if I didn't work out at all,
Okay, get the
I
Fitbit.
still,
Get better.
yes. Thank you. My Fitbit used to keep me in shape because if
Yeah.
I saw that I was behind in my steps for the day, I would walk around in a circle in my living room just to get to the number that I was expecting. So I think I just have to invest in a new Fitbit for 2021. I think that's the
Yeah.
new plan.
Be
But
intentional. Be
yeah,
intentional. That's what we have to be awake in 2021.
no, you're
We've had our
absolutely
rest
right.
time and now we have to be awake.
You're absolutely right. And speaking of being awake, it's now time for us to move on to our spiritual connection for 2021 and the self care that brings. Oh
Mm.
my goodness. I'm going to
Yes.
tell you something. And I think I discussed this with you the last time I saw you that, oh my God, I missed her so much. I missed her so much. I
Yeah.
missed her so much of the fact that
Yeah.
I miss the connection, I miss the fellowship, I
Yes.
miss being and building with people, our fellow Christians. And I know that God wants us also to share the word with others. And I
Mhm.
know that He wants us to be out there worshiping and building with non-Christians as well and people that we don't see every Sunday. But at the same time, I need that love, I need that energy, I need
Yeah.
that power that I get from being in a church family. I mean, I enjoy watching it online, and I find really I'm spending a lot more time in church on
Mhm.
Sundays now because of the multiple
Yes.
services that I'm
Right.
watching.
That's true. God is up to something.
Yes, He is. And I said that. I was like, you know what? I had 1 hour set aside for you every week. You know what I mean? I was loving on everyone. But now it's literally like 3, 4 hours. It's a succession of just, you know, services throughout the
Mhm.
day. And I do feel that it does help. It's building me. And I feel, spiritually that I am, and, I'm just increasing. But at the same time, coming from 2020, I'm sure a lot of people, their spirituality was quite, they started to question it, especially with, the pandemic and the deaths and social unrest and just everything that was going on all at one time. And we was forced to
Mhm. Mhm.
watch it and to view it and to be in the middle of it. So how do we stay spiritually connected when we're being challenged every day? Our faith is being
Mhm.
challenged every single day.
It's so funny that the I have a congregation And the people who were always kind of aloof became even more aloof.
Mm.
But the people who were who are were that 20%, the Pareto rule is 20% do 80% of the work in the church. Those
Mhm.
20% had a really, and still are having a really hard time, but they are
Wow.
trying. That's the
Wow.
difference.
Wow.
They are trying, they're online, they're connecting with each other. And although it's still very, very hard because we're not together as we used to be, they're still growing. And so
Wow.
for me, it's like it's the effort that you put in when things are not normal
Mhm.
or the way that you want them to be. That
Mhm.
effort is everything.
Right.
Because if church opens back up, 2022, some people say, those people are going to be ready because
Right.
they're growing. They're still
Right.
growing.
Right.
But the people who just became more aloof and still don't have time, even for online services or whatever, it's going to continue to go that way. So
Right.
my only advice is to keep trying, keep moving. There's something about movement, right? I always say about money, it's a flow. You give, you receive, you give, you receive, you give, you receive, you receive, you give.
Mhm.
And if you don't continue,
Mhm.
if it just stays in your hand, so to speak, and you're not giving, it's not going to come back to you. I think it's the same way
Yep.
with your faith walk, your spiritual journey. If you're not going to push the boundaries and try to do hard things and keep trying to do hard things, then it's not going to come back to you in any way, shape, or form. So
Right.
you got to
Right.
just keep trying. You got to keep living. You just got to keep moving.
Right.
Got to keep
No.
moving.
Oh, I know. I know. It sounds
It's hard.
it sounds easy. It does, but it can be
It's
hard
not
for, like
easy
you
at all.
mentioned, those. Not at all. It has to be hard, even for, to me, the grounded ones, the ones who are also what I call doers of the word. They were also challenged
Yeah.
this season, and to them, it's so ironic. I actually, my mother-in-law, I felt like she, unfortunately had to start dialysis. And this woman, who I just always knew to be this strong, just Christian woman, just so grounded in the word and the believer and the doer of the word. And then to have, something just so unfortunate thrown your way.
Yeah.
Not that she was questioning God, but just that it was a question. You know what I mean? It was
Mhm,
like, well,
mhm.
am I going to be okay? Am I really going to get through this? Am I going to make it? Opposed to, I'm going to be fine, and standing strong belief and having the faith of unwavering, smaller than a mustard seed, and you just believing just with all of your might and all of your heart and all of your soul that you're going to get through this, opposed to what I was hearing,
Mhm.
which was, well, I'm going to see,
Yeah.
how I'm going to feel tomorrow. And yeah, so I had to really, like, work, kind of tweak her thinking, and
Absolutely.
convince her, let her know that, listen, you taught me, you made me, believe and have my faith strengthened by the words that you showed me and the things that you told me, and ministering to me and reading, scriptures to me and things of that nature. So to me,
Yes,
this is my time to give that back to you. And I'm like,
that's
snap out
right.
of it. You are a
That's right.
child of the Most High God, and
Amen.
he prepared you for this moment already. And that's what I want people to know, that regardless of what you're going through, he's already prepared you for the outcome, glory, for the victory. You've already
That's right.
won. You
Amen.
just have to believe it in your heart. And yes, and we're going to be put through some challenges. Our spirituality is going to be questioned and
Be
challenged,
tested.
and
Yes,
we're going to have moments of depression, but it happened in the Bible. What makes us so
that's
different?
right.
Why can't we be the same people? Even down to the pandemic, all of this pre-written. We're just people now that have to understand how to go through it. And if we didn't learn
Absolutely.
anything, If we didn't learn anything out of 2020, we've done ourselves a very, very, very bad disservice. You know what I mean? I really, really
Absolutely,
do.
absolutely. And the fact that
Yes.
you became
Sorry.
teacher, you had to become teacher, and that's okay, because you've grown on this journey. You
Mm-hmm.
haven't, you turned from
Mm-hmm.
mentee to mentor, right? And that's a good
Yes.
thing
Yes.
because your spiritual growth
Yeah.
is going, and your mother-in-law is learning that grace. She needs to ask
Yes.
for grace sometime
That's
too.
it. That's
You
it.
know,
You're absolutely
I
right.
mean that's I have to say a pastor's life is like, I'm the one that's always supposed to have the answer, so forth and so on. But there are times, hello, in our
I
lives
know.
where we don't feel like it. We don't
Yeah.
feel like getting up. We don't feel, and God gives us the grace to do it, and people
Mm-hmm.
also should be able to give each other grace to do it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, we're
Yeah,
only human. We're only human. And I think
absolutely.
once we realize that, and that we're all gonna, suffer our ups and downs and our challenges.
Mm,
But again, the grace that we know that we can have after the fact,
yeah,
making it through the race and finishing it and believing in ourselves. I'm telling you, there's no better feeling than that. And why should we feel any special? Why should we feel any different than anyone else? Other than the fact that we're doing our best, we're living our best lives, living to our
that's right.
fullest potential, giving the most of ourselves. If you do that, I feel that you shouldn't regret anything for the most part, just living your life to the fullest. So
I
yes,
feel like we're all
spirituality at this
warriors.
time. Yes, yes,
Coming
I
out of
agree. I
2020,
totally agree.
um,
Yeah.
my word to anyone who doesn't feel like a warrior, who just feels like, oh, I barely made it. My word to them is, you made it, and you're a warrior, because
Yep.
this year proved it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
It proved
And
it.
I think also that we should be prepared for the battle right now. I think
That's
that
right.
whatever we went through already should have strengthened us so much. Our armor should be so thick that right now
Amen.
there's nothing that should be able to take us down. If anything, we are building right now. And
Yes.
and that is what, a happy new you is all about, is us building on ourselves, just being, just redefining and renewing ourselves for 2021. That is
Amen.
really what my mission and my goal is. Yes. And to help everyone out there, because I don't want 2020 to leave our minds as if it was just another year, because it wasn't. It
Mm,
was not another year. There was
not another
lessons
year.
to be learned, girl. Let's just say yes. And if you came out on the other side, count yourself blessed. And I
That's
mean,
right.
even if you're laying in the hospital and you came out on the other side, to me, you're still blessed because you're
That's
still
right.
here.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Hmm.
no. So the spiritual connection
Absolutely.
is very, very important. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
stay with your folks. If it just has to be online or on the telephone, stay
mhm,
with those people who are going to help increase, your faith, and love on you, and have a good
yes.
word for you. Um,
Mhm,
don't go off by yourself, because you will not be okay if you go and hide away, waiting
mhm,
for this to be over. You
yeah.
really have to connect with people.
Yeah. And the ones that buried their heads in the sand, 2020 is time for you to take it out of the ground,
Right.
and to look this delight of 2021 dead in the face, and just inhale every single second of it.
Amen.
I really am hoping and praying that people take this time to breathe,
Yes.
just give, I just say, just give it all to God. And I know that, there's probably people out there that are watching that are probably not as spiritual as we are,
Mm.
but that's why we're having this conversation, right? That's why
Mhm.
we here. We want you to see these smiles in our faces are not fake smiles. We are happy
Amen.
and blessed. And let me tell you, that's in the highs and in the lows,
In the
because
lows.
and I know you feel as I do, that regardless of what goes on in my day, I find the blessing in it. I know you do.
Absolutely. The joy of the Lord is our strength. It doesn't have to be the
Mm,
world's joy, but our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, it's our joy. And when we go through,
mm-hmm.
absolutely, Christians, we always find the silver lining because we're breathing. People
Yeah,
didn't wake up this morning, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
if I had a hard day or a very, very, very hard day, I have breath in my body and I'm grateful.
That's right. That's right. Amen. I feel the same way.
Grateful.
I'm hoping that, people choose this year faith versus fear for 2021.
Amen.
Faith
Amen.
versus fear. Yes. And just make sure that whatever they do every single day, they wake up with a purpose and
Yes.
they live their day out productively and intentionally. I really feel that if we give that to our day, that we will never regret it at the end of the day, no matter what
True.
the outcome
That's
was,
true. Yeah.
just keep this big, huge smile on your face. And I think I honestly feel that time, everything happens for a reason. That's how
Mm.
I feel first and foremost, that everything happens for a reason. So whether I can control it or not, or whether it was good or bad or not, regardless of the fact, there was something in it from my edification. And
Mhm.
that's what I intend to take
Yeah.
intake that and that alone. So
2020 lessons, the
yeah.
lessons of 2020.
Yep,
That's right.
exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. So I want to take us to our meme to remember, which is real quickly: a balanced mind connects body and spirit in a harmonious relationship. Harmony in mind, body, spirit promotes a true state of health, peace, and happiness. And that's basically what me and the
Yeah.
beautiful Reverend Casey Jones discussed today. That
Mm.
just having a healthy mind, body, and spirit, it keeps you happy and it keeps you joyful all
Yeah.
inside. Yeah, and that's what we're speaking to today. You want to, say any last few words in regard to what we should do and getting moving for 2021, staying spiritually connected. Just sum that up and just sort of how we can keep our mind just clear of any
Clear.
garbage. Yes.
Again, my toolkit is full, and so
Mm,
there are so many different ways that you can live a harmonious or a balanced life, mind, body, spirit, and soul. And so you
mm-hmm.
really have to work on each thing. It's not going to come all together. You're going to
Nope.
have to work on each part of yourself, right? And start balancing. So take one day of exercise followed by a meditation for your mind, followed
Mm-hmm.
by some heart work. Just hold your hands over your heart and just really feel your heartbeat and just tell God or a family member through your heart that you love them. That is
Mm-hmm.
going to keep you balanced, but you have to do it every day. It's not
Yeah.
going to be quick and easy and I'm going to do it one day and then the next day I'm not going to do it because it needs to become a routine.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that's the hardest part. The hardest part is doing it. Once you
Right.
do it, then you're going to say, oh, I feel so much better, but it's still not a routine.
Right.
So everybody, just please like write down everything that you're going to do tomorrow in the morning before your day gets
Mm-hmm.
started. If it's walking up and down the stairs 10 times, that's your exercise. That's good. That's
Right.
steps. That's more
Yeah.
than you did before. You don't have to go
Mm-hmm.
to the park. You don't have to go to the gym. Do your stairs, right?
Right. Right.
Have
Yeah.
make rituals. Rituals are important. Get a cup of hot tea every morning, 7 a.m., whatever time you get up, and let that be your ritual because that's going to
Yeah.
remind you to slow down, and
Yeah.
that's going to remind you of who to whom you belong. If you're a
Right.
Christian, you're going to be like, "Thank you, God, for this time."
Right.
So it's not one word. I think it's do it all. Do it all because you need it all.
Right. Well, I will I am so thankful for you being our guest today.
Thank
You
you for
have given
having
us
me.
some jewels, my friend. And I hope that we take this to, yes, no problem. No, it was truly, truly a joy. And yeah, so I want to end now thanking our guests. I understand I ran over a little my time, but the Dare to Be You basically is for us to just spend some time and breathe. What we need to do, honestly, is to take some time and to just inhale the goodness of every single day. Reverend Casey Jones gave us a lot of good ideas and techniques that we could use. And I feel that for the next month, this January, every single day, you just breathe, just take some time and just love on yourself a little deeper than you did on on December 31st. And take this 2021 as an opportunity to live the best life that you could possibly live. And again, our wonderful guest, Reverend Casey Jones, do you want to give a quick dare to be you for our audience?
A quick dare to be you?
Yes.
How long do I have?
Let me get like 20 seconds.
Oh, 20. No, I can't. So just go out and be who God created you to be, right? Because God has created you to live life on purpose and to be a divine part of himself. And so go out and see yourself how God sees you, not how you see yourself.
Amen.
How God
I love it.
is divine.
Amen. I love it. Thank you so much to my guest, Reverend Casey Jones. You saw her information. Thank you so much for joining our Unity and our new beautiful set. And again, I hope you join us again next week. We're on cable channel 115 between 6 and 7. And also live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Thank you so much again for joining us. Thank you so much to Reverend Casey Jones. I love you and I appreciate you all. And you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Signing off.